So my name is Maria Tavares. I come from DSM in Switzerland, and I'm very happy to be here today with all of you. I know this is a very special occasion. It's AIM's 8th Global Anniversary, but it's also special because we're here to celebrate the Vita, the cardioceutical drink. Closer. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So Vita, the cardioceutical drink, has two of DSM's ingredients, the Redivivo, lycopene, or the Resvita, resveratrol. So welcome to the Vita, the cardioceutical drink. So DSM, what is DSM? The mission of our company is to pursue and to create brighter lives for all of us today, but also for the future generations to come. And the way we do that is to connect our knowledge, our competences on life sciences and material sciences. So DSM at a glance, so you better know our company. In 2013, we had sales of around 10 billion. We are listed, thank you. Thank you. We're listed at the Euronext and New York Stock Exchange. The value of our shares have increased exponentially for the last 25 years. We are also a sustainability leader. That is very important nowadays. To be concerned about sustainability. We need to care about sustainability of our world. And we have a global presence. What does that mean? It means that our increasing and global presence, as you can see, it allows us to be a global provider, but with local solutions. Closer. So our growth is driven by the global megatrends. That means the health and wellness, like aging population. We need to develop ingredients that match the needs of these global megatrends, like the global shifts, the population growth, and the climate and energy that are also changing. So that would lead DSM to be very active on 3 activity areas, like that of health, and that means that we continuously look to deliver cost-effective and medical innovations, as well as healthier food and beverages. In the nutrition field, DSM has become, over the years, the leader producer of vitamins and nutritional ingredients. And in the field of materials, we continuously look to enable stronger and more advanced sustainable solutions. Now, when you have a strategy, you need to focus on your growth and the way you're going to do that. At DSM, we commit to our targets through 4 main drivers, and those are high growth economies, innovation, sustainability, and acquisitions and partnerships. With the knowledge in life sciences and material sciences, and through these 4 main growth drivers, we will be able to develop new products to the global megatrends. So innovation is very important because we need to continuously deliver new products that are necessary to meet the needs of our society. Innovation starts with the idea generation. And how do you generate an idea? Well, you need to be very receptive to market trends, to social media. Legislation could also be through partnerships, or, for example, internal ideas in your family, in your company. It doesn't matter. You need to be receptive to the needs and the ideas around those of you. So once an idea is generated, in order to become a product, it needs to be taken care by a strong alliance of innovation and marketing inside the company. Once the idea is selected, it then needs to develop into a mature product that will be later given to you. And so for an idea to be matured into a product, it goes through a process, idea evaluation, development, scale up, launch, etc. But to make sure that that idea becomes a valuable product, you need to keep challenging it all the time with information surrounding you. So throughout the years and through a very intensive innovation, DSM has developed 17 health platforms, but for the sake of today's presentation, we will focus on the heart health. So today, we will be hearing about the trends and the products that DSM has for our hearts. So global aging is one of the trends that is definitely leading the development of heart health products. And that means that we need to know that heart health is one of the top conditions for which consumers buy supplements. And as we can see in the graph underneath here, global aging, in 2050 you can see the red bars, it's increasing, and with aging comes the increase of cardiovascular diseases. But now the good news is that we can prevent this by improving our lifestyle, like our diet, for example. And so consumers want heart health products. And in 2014, a study came out showing that Filipinos, the second issue that they're more concerned about is exactly heart attack or heart disease. In the United States and Europe, it's similar, and heart health products are in between the top products that consumers are looking for. Cardiovascular disease is a silent killer, and that's why we need to prevent and not wait for it to happen. It's the major cause of mortality, but again, it can be prevented. We can help to make your heart healthier. There are several cardiovascular diseases, and I will not repeat what Dr. Butch so well presented previously. So now you all know about cardiovascular diseases, but we can see how we can help prevent these. So nutrition is extremely necessary. Just low fruits and vegetable intake is estimated to cause a 31% of cardiovascular or 11% of some of these cardiovascular diseases. So nutrition does play a very important fact. So how can we help you? And now we're going to look into some of the ingredients that we have at DSM. First of all, we're going to talk about the Resvita and Redivivo that come on the Vita drink. And so these ingredients are targeted to support the healthy blood vessels. And why is it important to have healthy blood vessels? Because, as you can see here, the blood vessels that carry the blood throughout your organism, and the blood is responsible for delivering nutrients and oxygen to all your organs, to your entire body. So it is very important for those blood vessels to be free so the blood can flow freely. And I think a very nice way of understanding the importance of this is, for example, if we take these pictures of traffic. This picture on the top is actually from Manila. We can say that this represents a very healthy blood flow. So on top in Manila, we have a very healthy blood flow, and then the bottom, it's not Manila, I will not say which country is it, but it's a different city somewhere in the world, and you can see that the bus in the middle is blocking the flow. So let's say that the bus here in the middle is the same thing of a plaque. So your arteries, your blood vessels are blocked, and when they're blocked, you can see that the cars will not drive through. So the same thing is happening in your blood vessels, and this is what we want to prevent to happen. So one of our ingredients that it's contained in the Vita drink, it's called resveratrol, or branded Resvita. And so it's a very powerful antioxidant, and it's very well known to exist in a variety of sources, like could be peanuts or, for example, grapes as well. So it's it's found, for example, in higher amounts in the red wine. And so resveratrol was actually discovered back in 1940, but it was not until 1990 when it gained a lot of attention. And the reason why, it's because the resveratrol is associated with the French paradox. And the French paradox tells us about the fact that the French society has a less incidence of cardiovascular diseases, and the reason why, it's because they consume a higher amount of resveratrol that is contained in the red wine. And so after this study, those resveratrol became very popular, and there was a high development of clinical studies after that. So let's look into some of these results of these clinical studies. First of all, it was shown that resveratrol extends life of obese mice. So what was seen was that mice in a high calorie have a lower expectancy of life, but then if they take resveratrol, they can live as much as those mice that are on a normal diet. This was a quite fascinating result. Then we move on, and we see that here in this graph, what it tells us is that with age, the early signs of atherosclerosis, what Dr. Butch showed us and taught us what it is, one of the cardiovascular diseases, those early signs can actually be avoided with resveratrol. So also the resveratrol, also known as Resvita, what is shown here is that first of all, it is bioavailable, so once you take it, it becomes widely available in your system, and it also improves the vasodilatation, which is very important for your blood to flow normally. So here it's summarized the effects of Resvita on our organism, but mostly and importantly, the message I would like you to take home today is that it preserves the vascular and cardiac function. So resveratrol became so popular that it was widely talked about in the media, in magazines, in TV shows, in the United States, across Europe, in Asia, everywhere. Now, but we would not stay only with resveratrol. We will move on to another ingredient, and that is Redivivo, which is also contained in the Vita drink. Redivivo, it's also, and as the resveratrol, is a powerful antioxidant, but it has a different target. So Redivivo, what it does, the lycopene, what it does, is to inhibit the LDL cholesterol oxidation. So LDL is the carrier of fat and oils in your blood vessels. And then when it gets oxidized, what happens is that it releases certain compounds that will deteriorate the condition of your arteries. So we want to inhibit that from happening. And lycopene does that for you. So what was shown in clinical studies, so there is clinical evidence showing that higher blood levels of lycopene may reduce the risk of aortic arteriosclerosis, acute coronary events, stroke, and myocardial infarction. So several of cardiovascular diseases. So again, you all know this, it's the Vita drink. And the Vita cardiaceutical drink contains these two very important nutrients that your heart will love. And now we move on to an ingredient which is known as Fruit Flow, that will also be launched soon by AIM Global. So let's hear about Fruit Flow. What does it do for us? So again, blood flow is very important, and we saw that for our organism and our heart to function well. And Fruit Flow, well, before we move into Fruit Flow, blood clots. We've heard about blood clots before. So some clotting is good, exaggerated clotting is not good. And in the clotting process, platelets are very important, because what happens when platelets are highly activated, they also activate the clotting of blood cells. So we want to avoid this to happen in a high frequency, because as we can see in the picture below, if there's a clotting around the plaque, that will obstruct your blood vessels, and we know we don't want this. So, what is Fruit Flow? Fruit Flow is the first natural substantiated solution for a healthy blood flow. It's a breakthrough ingredient, the Fruit Flow. It's a water-soluble tomato-based concentrate, natural. Fruit Flow, it became so important that it was actually the first ingredient with the European Food Safety Agency health claim. And actually, so in Europe, you can label your products with helps maintain normal platelet aggregation, which contributes to a healthy blood flow. So how does it work? As we can see here in these pictures, in your arteries on the top image, you have a normal flow, you have smooth platelets, and you have some cholesterol deposits in yellow. So when those platelets become activated for several factors, it could be a bad diet, it could be stress, it could be obesity, they form these clots. And what fruit flow does is it prevents the platelets from becoming spiky. So it prevents the blood cells from aggregating. And what it does then is to promote a very healthy blood flow. There is a very high amount of clinical evidence, and all these clinical studies that have been performed have shown a very significant effect on platelet aggregation only. What does this mean? It means that the blood flow, what it does is that it prevents your platelets from becoming overactivated, but it does not play an effect in other factors of your blood, so it's platelet specific. It will not over-dilute your blood or anything like that. It will just create a natural, healthy blood flow. Last but not least, I just want to remind you that we had resveratrol and lycopene on the Vita drink, and that soon, Vita Max will be launched with Fruit Flow. And I want to thank you all very, very much for your attention and hope to see you soon.